sports betting and how it is gonna wipe out a generation. How it's gonna wipe out a generation of strong men, men that we need to fight for the oncoming war that is approaching. Okay, and I kind of understand that the economy is pretty bad right now. The job market is shit. And every day you wake up and you see your fucking For You page, you got to make so much money to have worth as a man. And that is why sports betting entices a lot of men into it, okay? I understand that, but I really hope from this video you can understand and learn why you got to save yourself. You cannot fall into this pit of sports gambling. It will not save you. It will not provide you a side hustle that makes any money for you. It will not make you a multimillionaire, okay? This is not it. And I kind of understand a lot of Gen Z men right now. They crave success at an earlier age than our parents did, and that is understandable because of social media. Social media makes it seem like everyone is out here making money 24/7, and it is just all lies. They are all LARPing. They're all live action role playing. Okay, trust me on this. They are trying to sell you a dream to get you more addicted. It is sports gambling. It is literal goy slop for the goyim. So I first got into sports gambling when I was a senior in high school, actually, because I was introduced to it by a guy in my grade, and we're not really friends anymore. But that's beside the point. He kind of just introduced me to sports betting as a way to like make money as like a side hustle and blah blah blah. And he was like, "Oh, you watched the game, so you must be able to predict what's gonna happen." And I was like, "Oh yeah, probably." And looking back, it was really easy. Like I could tell you Liverpool would beat West Brom on Saturday. Anyone could tell you that. But I could tell you PSG would win that weekend. I could tell you anyone could tell you that Barcelona would win against Almeria that weekend. Anyone could tell you that. So that's like how they get people into sports betting because they try to make it seem like, oh, if you watch the game, it's pretty easy to predict what's gonna happen. But that's not even really true. You'll be surprised by the amount of comebacks that happen in sports regularly because if you don't sports bet, you would never know. You would just assume that anytime a team goes down, the comeback is gone. But the number of comebacks that happen is way more often than you would imagine, okay? And trust me, there's nothing worse than being on the other side of a huge comeback. I've been there. We've all been there. And it just leaves a bitter taste in your mouth after the game's over and you're about to smash your phone on the fucking wall and just go, how the hell did we lose this game? We've been there. I've all been there. And in 2026, sports betting has gotten so mainstream to the point that they now actively promote it on television. Like, it is so insane that I'm watching an NBA game, and while the game is playing, I'm seeing the live odds by ESPN on the screen where they're showing us the odds for the Knicks to beat the Spurs. They're showing me the live odds. It is so dystopian. It is so crazy because just maybe I don't know 15 years ago, sports gambling was illegal everywhere. So I don't know the huge 360 society has had in sports betting is kind of shocking to see, and I understand. I fully understand. Sports betting is a market that is huge because they target naive young men. Yeah, I hate to call us naive, but that's just what we are. We're very naive and we imagine we know it all because we watch the games. Like and 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 it's so heartbreaking to see the countless number of lives that have been destroyed because of sports betting and sports gambling. And just gambling as a whole. It has destroyed so many lives in Gen Z, and it's so sad because these are young men that should have a future, that have kids to raise, that have families to raise, that have their parents to take care of. It's so sad to see, and there's so many effects of sports gambling to your psychology, to your psyche as well, to your psyche as well. And I think the biggest one of them all is the way it makes you view money as a whole. Okay, when I was super deep into sports betting, I did not even view money as actual money. I viewed money as numbers on a screen. Okay, I could literally make 2,000 in 3 days of just grinding on Bet365, and then I would lose it the next following 2 days, just being a dumbass and betting on every game possible, thinking I know what's going on. I'm probably gonna win. This is a sure lock. If I could count on my hands the number of times I said this is a sure lock, I'm not gonna lose. I will lose all my fingers and toes. Okay, and I just need us as young men to understand that you're not gonna beat the computers. You will not beat the models. The models that they use to predict the spreads and totals and over unders and receiving yards and whatever, these are supercomputers. Like you don't even understand. Like these are super computers. Okay. And aside from that, it's just like, why do you even still want to bet on the games with all the rigging going on? If it is 2026, and if you do not believe that the NBA or the NFL is rigged, man, you're living under a tree, okay? Because I'm just gonna start from here, okay? Do you really believe that the Mavs traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers and then ended up getting the number one pick in the draft to get Cooper Flag? Do you really believe that happened just by coincidence? No, it did not. No, it did not. Because I think going into the lottery, I think the Mavs had the 11th best chance to get the number one pick. Okay, and I think that was like 2%. I'm sorry to tell you this, but if you genuinely believe that they traded Luka Doncic and in the same season they get the number one pick and it wasn't given to them by Adam Silver, I don't know what to tell you. And not just that, this is in every sport. I think every sport so far has had a major betting scandal, maybe except the NHL. And I still think that is coming eventually. We're gonna get there real soon. Because in the MLB we had Shohei Ohtani, the whole Ohtani drama, and then in the NFL we've had a couple cases here or there about sports betting and whatever, and I think college basketball as well, and most recently the NBA. And did you notice how the NBA sports betting scandal just got swept under the rug? And this was a head coach that was involved in the scandal. The Portland Trailblazers head coach, Chauncey Billups. I think that's his name. I'm not exactly sure. And a couple other players and assistant coaches as well. I think Terry Rozier was also involved in that operation as well. And I think, what's his name? Malik Beasley from the Pit. I think he played in the Pistons a year ago. I'm not exactly sure where he's at right now. But why would you still want to waste money on games that they are actively rigging? Like, it is so obvious to us that they are rigging the games now. So why the hell do you still want to put your money down on this? It is ridiculous. Okay, and I'm not here preaching to you as a saint. Like I've never sports gambled or I've never lost. I've lost a lot of sports gambling. I've lost not just my money, but a lot of time I could have spent doing other important stuff. I lost money I could have spent on more important projects or just hanging out with friends or just going out to a bar and buying a drink for myself. And I had just had no money because I lost all my money for the month just sports gambling, and I would have to wait until my next payday before I could do anything. I've been there. We've all been there. And I've had some crazy bad beats as well. We've all had bad beats. I know every time you lose by one, you go, wow, I can't believe this. Next time I'm going to get lucky. No, you will not get lucky next time. Maybe you get one win out of 10. Okay? And maybe that only probably covers up for your last, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 losses. So you're still down 5 units, I'd assume. And that's assuming you're betting standard units for every game. So I'm trying to tell you that, man, sports betting, sports gambling, it is just not it. It is not a get rich scheme. It's not gonna save you from poverty. It's not gonna help you generate any kind of money. Okay, and I just need you to notice, as young men, you need to save your money. You need to save as much capital as possible to protect your future. You need to do that. You need to save as much capital as possible to protect your future. There is a reason why every year they tell us how much has been bet on the Super Bowl game. Even though us knowing the amount that everyone on the planet bet on Super Bowl is not really important, no one needs to know that. They're revealing that amount every year just to encourage you to sports bet because they want it to become normalized. Okay, it is insane that now we're watching the games and instead of commentators analyzing the actual game and what the players are doing on the court, they're talking about how the spread has jumped numbers in the first half. They talk about what the spread is just before the second half is about to begin. That makes no sense. How did we get here? How did we allow them to push down this gore stuff into our mouth, into our throats? How did we get here as a society? And that's because they want you to they want you to remain weak. They want you to be poor, okay? Please, 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 I need all young men to stop sports betting. This is not gonna save you. I keep saying this over and over again because it is so important. Every day I wake up and I just see more and more young men getting addicted to sports betting or losing more and more money on sports betting. I've had my own bad beats as well. One of my worst beats actually is maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I bet on all the opening match days in different leagues in soccer. across Europe. So I bet on I maybe like Liverpool, Man City, United, uh, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, whatnot. Those other teams, Barcelona, and I think Real Madrid, and maybe Arsenal as well. And I bet on all of them to win their opening fixture for the new season. This is about 2 or 3 years ago, and I think it was like $20 to win 700. Okay, and would you believe that every team won, and the last game was Barcelona versus Almeria. Almeria had not beaten Barcelona at home in 20 years. I don't even think they've beaten him at all in 20 years, not even at home. I don't think they've beaten him home or away in 20 years. Guess what happens? Okay. The game starts, Barcelona goes 1-0 down to Almeria. And I'm like, oh, chill. It's just 1-0. It's like the first 20 minutes. We're going to come back. And I also had placed the same bet that my friend had placed as well. I gave him the same parlay as well. So he calls me and he's like, bro, Barcelona is down in the game. And I tell him, they're going to come back. They're going to come back. Don't cash out. Don't cash out. They're going to come back. And, you know, Barcelona keeps playing with intensity, and we're pressing them. But we cannot get a goal. So we go into halftime. We're down 1-0 to Almeria. And the second half begins. We're pressing them again, and then unfortunately we get a red card. Okay, and after getting the red card, we finally score a goal, and I'm like, okay, definitely we're gonna get the win now. I thought we were gonna get the win. You feel me? And then, even though we're 10 men down, I still thought we were going to get the win. But it just did not happen. It just did not happen. And then Almera scores a goal. And then we're down 2-1 with 70 minutes left, I think. Or 75. With not 70 minutes, I mean, we're down 2-1 with 25 minutes left. And I'm like, bro, we can still come back. This is Barcelona we're talking about. Even with 10 men, we can still beat Almeria. And the game ends 2-1, and I lost my money, and I was like, wow, that is a crazy bad beat. And I think till today that is one of my craziest bad beats of all time. And even last season I had another bad beat. I just bet on every first NFL week game for the 2025-26 season, so the season that just ended. And I had the Steelers beating the Dolphins in week 1, I think. And then that was the game where the Steelers were up by, I don't know, 7 or no, they were up about 4 or 5 points, I think. And then Caleb Johnson fumbles the ball on the return, and the Dolphins take it back for a touchdown off the Steelers' return. And then the Dolphins blow them out by 20 points, I think. And before that, we firmly controlled the game, and I lost that for about, I think, $5,000. And this is just what I'm trying to tell you, man. Just avoid sports gambling. It's not gonna save you. It's not the way out of the projects. Okay, I know it's being promoted to you heavily, and you have to resist. You have to resist. You have to save yourself. No one will save you. So many lives have been destroyed recently just because of sports betting. So many guys are getting divorced by their wives because they've blown all their family's money sports betting. They've bet their house down at the casino. Sports betting is not going to save you. It will not save anyone. It is, just imagine this. They would not give you free money if they did not make more money off you.